Hey guys, welcome. Alex Fields here. Welcome in this what I call the $100,000 funnel workshop, where I'm going to give you a real look behind the scenes behind the screens about how I create my funnels and how my whole universe of funnel creating is built. So this is quite a long workshop, so I want you to have some pen and paper by the hand, so I'll give you some time to grab it. So go and grab a pen and paper now. I'll wait. I'm still waiting. Do you have a pen and paper? Okay, so let me tell you a bit more. I'm personally coaching clients on building funnels, but that create high ticket sales like an autopilot without really not really being or running the business like 40 hours a week. An autopilot for me just means you still have to put in about 3 to 4 hours a week in the business. But the great thing about how I built my funnels are that I built my funnels to sell high ticket items. So what I want to do in this workshop is to show you behind the screens the layout of precisely how one of my funnels is created and how it brings me like 5-6 times the return on investment that I'm spending on getting traffic. And I'll also show you guys about all the high ticket sales that I'm making with these funnels, because 2 or 3 years ago I stopped focusing on selling small ticket items and focused on selling high ticket items. I like earning 1k, 2k, 3k, or even 5k per sale. What I'm going to show you now is what my coaching clients pay me 10k for in my private coaching system. Why I'm showing you this? I think you guys need to know to see how the game has changed, and I want to make sure that you start 2016 like being really successful. If you just implement this, what I'm going through with this, you'll see results very, very soon. So I'll pause the video for a sec and then switch over to my funnel layout, and then we'll get started. By the way, grab a pen and paper, grab some coffee. This will be a long workshop, but you'll really enjoy this. See you in a bit. Okay guys, welcome back. Did you get a pen and paper? And then we can start now. So before I start, I want to say something about funnels, because this last year I think the name funnel has been really hyped up, and we're all hearing about funnels, and even more funnels. So what makes this type of training different than other type of funnels that you're seeing? So there are 3 things that I want to focus on that I built my funnels on. And like I said, I didn't invent this stuff. I learned it from like my mentor. The most important thing, what I think in what has changed, what is coming in getting funnels to work, is giving what we call a dynamic content campaign. So basically that means that not everybody clicks on the same email, not everybody clicks on the same videos in your email, and not everybody watches the same videos. So and not everybody, of course, buys something. So if we know about this process, it's important that we use a kind of system to segment them, track them, and really get people who are interested in like product A, show them things about product A, and not mail the whole list and burn them out. So this is what I think makes this really different, and you'll see your sales really skyrocketing. Like in my own business, I've seen with a really small list, I was able to generate, instead of a normal what I would generate $2, $3, $5,000, I was able to generate like 5 or 6 times more, because using the dynamic content campaigns, I only targeted people that were generally interested in what I had to offer, and the people that weren't interested didn't get any messages from me about the stuff that I was promoting or selling. Okay, let me show you through this and show you how it works. So you can see my mouse. You'll see there's nothing really different with starting on the front end, starting with the landing page. So what I do is really create a squeeze page, a normal squeeze page that I think all of you guys know on how to create. That's not where like the magic still is. I think a normal squeeze page using you can capture traffic by all means. I like to use solo ads a lot. But also PPC, Facebook ads, and everything else would work to capture the traffic. On your squeeze page, it's really nothing groundbreaking there. The first groundbreaking stuff that comes is the first campaign that I will start when people opt in is like an automated product launch, and everything goes like fully automated. You'll see it more later in this video how I do it. But after somebody opts in, you'll see the names L.O. That just means a liquidator offer. So we already know what a one-time offer is, right? One-time offers, those cheap $7, $1 trials that I think we're used to in the internet marketing community. But you'll also notice that one-time offers don't really sell like they did in the old days. So there's a new type of offer on the market, or new type of system that we're using, and that's called the liquidator offer. Right away you'll see the liquidator offer has a substantial higher price than an OTO on average. You'll see the conversion rate with 0.75 is quite low, but don't forget it's a $197 offer. But what is a liquidator offer? A liquidator offer is basically right away a tutorial giving golden nuggets, a tutorial about how to do something, and then it transcends in selling a product. But it's not at the liquidator offer level where we're making like a lot of money to buy a new Ferrari or something. No, we are just using the liquidator offer to like recuperate on our ad costs. Not even fully maybe, but hey, if you make 2, 3, 4 sales, you have a couple of $100 you can spend back into buying ad costs. So the substantial different thing after the opt-in is that instead of giving people a normal OTO, I'm giving them a liquidator offer. So the liquidator offer, like I said, starts with a tutorial. I like using video liquidators, and it starts by telling them something they can use right away, like a really big golden nugget that builds trust right away and shows them something that they can implement right away, even if they don't buy a product or do anything or take any other action from me. But this is where the funnel starts, and that's different from other people. So here is where we start, where the magic stuff really starts. So after they opt in, they see the liquidator offer. Some customers buy, some customers don't buy. The majority of the customers, of course, don't buy the liquidator offer. What happens then? Well, they're on my list. And what I do then is start something that's really different. You won't see this in normal funnels. Is what I call an engagement sequence. The engagement sequence just has one purpose, because wait, let me tell it like this. If you go check your stats now in your funnel, you see people opted in for a freebie, but go check your stats and go check out really how much people really watched the freebie that you're supplying. In my case, it's a video. So the engagement sequence only has one simple goal, and that is to get people to click to go watch the video that they opted in for. You'll notice that my engagement sequence is consists of 4 emails, because like I said, if you go check your stats, you'll see your first follow-up on average, maybe in the internet marketing niche, is like 10-20% on average that will open the email, maybe 30%, and how much of those people really watch the freebie that you're offering. So the engagement sequence is especially designed to get people to really know about who we are, of who I am, what I do, and really show them the freebie, because I want to build goodwill with them and really have a bond with my customers. So these 4 emails are designed to get the user to click. Okay, that's the only thing that we want them to click. Notice what happens. Only if they click, I will put them in an other segment that will show them the video that they're opted in. So if they click, they'll get into another segment where every day they'll get video 1, video 2, video 3, and etc. You'll see more later in this workshop about how it exactly works. So what happens if they don't click? So I send them 4 emails every day, 1 emails. Every email is designed to get them to click to watch video 1. So here's where it's different. So pretty cool stuff until now, right? So we created like an automated launch, a product launch sequence that keeps on going. What we really did is like create an individual marketing universe for the prospects. So every prospect gets his own launch. We implement scarcity a lot of scarcity in it. So that really works a lot. But let's say we only have 10% buyer's rate. What happens? This is what most people do. Most people forget about the other 90%. So here is where I do it radically different than most other people. Let's go back to the funnel. So if you take a look at the funnel, this is what you'll see. So we're training people to really engage, and only then when they engage, we're giving them content or offering them something. So what happened to like the 90, 80, 70, 60% that didn't even click on the videos? Okay. Here is where most people leave out money, and where I say here is where we can make a lot of money. So what I'm doing then is just transferring them, of starting another campaign. They didn't show interest in the first campaign, so that means like maybe they didn't like it. We really don't know what it was, but maybe they'll like another type of campaign, a whole new type of campaign. So what I do then is, so let's say this is a failure point in our funnel because they didn't click. They didn't click for the first campaign. So we have to beat this failure point, in this case, by doing a whole nother type of new campaign. I call the campaign automated webinar campaign. My automated webinar campaign sells my group coaching. So that's all. It's so they didn't like they didn't click on the first launch sequence campaign. That then I'm going to try it another way and sell something else. So like I said, every funnel has a failure part. This is one of those failure parts, and the way to make a lot more money is if we try to convert the people that didn't buy something or didn't even click that failure part and try to make them sell something. So another type of campaign that I'm starting then is sending out the email to all the people, what I call invite sequence, IS. And the invite sequence is nothing more than 3 emails that just say from, hey, I'm going to do a webinar about how to make your first $5,000 a month online. It consists of 3 emails spread over 3 days, where we will invite the prospect to go to a register page and register for the webinar that we're going to do. What happened? So all the people that didn't reacted, we put them in. I'm putting them in the new automated webinar campaign. I start off with the invite sequence. You'll notice that the invite sequence is 3 emails. Most what you'll see in most mainstream marketing is the invite sequence is just 1 email, and the only goal of the invite sequence is to get them to register for our webinar. So what happens when they register? They just go to our webinar registration page. When I'm sending them to just a really simple page, I'll drop in a link at the bottom of this video. You'll get a link on how a page like that looks. I'm sending them once again to a liquidator offer. Like I said, a liquidator offer is great for recuperating some ad costs we're spending on buying traffic like solo ads, pay-per-click. And the liquidator offer, this liquidator offer that I have in the funnel, is it's like it complements the group coaching. It's something extra that builds trust, and you'll see I'm selling it at $97, so that's quite a high price as for a liquidator offer. It's normal because a liquidator offer is, like I said, a liquidator offer is like a tutorial first and then selling something. So it's not our classic standard OTO. So what happens? So people, or they buy the liquidator offer or they don't buy it, and then here's where it starts to get different in our funnel, or in the funnel that I'm building. Wait, I'll scroll a bit so you can see it. So after they registered, I will start by sending them 2 videos. The videos, that's what we call the indoctrination sequence. So remember what the problem is these days with webinars? Most people don't show up on webinars. So that's why I created the indoctrination sequence. The indoctrination sequence does 3 things. First, it's built to build trust. If you build trust and people already get to know you before the webinar starts, you'll make more sales. That's just how marketing works, and that's just how it goes. I'm also in the indoctrination sequence. There are 2 videos spread like 24 hours apart. I'm also pre-selling the webinar. So I'm saying like, hey, the indoctrination sequence in video 1, I'm saying, hey, you really need this webinar if you want to start your own online business. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and this really works. You really checked out. So I'm like restating that they really need it. That's video 1. Video 2 in the indoctrination sequence here, the V2, is sent out 24 hours after video 1. I think video 2 is the most important part, because in video number 2, what I do is like handle the objections of the client, of the prospects. So a lot of times you'll have something like, okay, but I can do group coaching, but I really don't know tech skills or how to do something like tech, or how to build a squeeze page. In video number 2, that's in the indoctrination sequence, I know what my marketplace, I know the troubles that my marketplace has, so I'll go into it, and I'll tell them, hey, you don't have to use HTML to build squeeze pages. Look, these days we have a software called InstaBuilder or ClickFunnels. So it builds trust, and it like handles the objections that somebody can have. After we finish the indoctrination sequence, that is where the fun really starts. So what happens? People are registered, they got the videos, the indoctrination sequence videos, so trust is built up, and I like to put like a 4-day timeline before a webinar starts. Remember, this is all automated, so the prospect always thinks the webinar is live, but it isn't live. I recorded this like once, and the system is built to make the prospect think that we are doing a live webinar every single time. And then we have the day of the webinar. So the day of the webinar, look at this. I always start with a reminder sequence. And on the day of the webinar itself, we're talking about the time span of a max of 24 hours. I'm sending out 1, 2, 3, 4 whole emails telling them, hey, the webinar is going to start in 12 hours. Hey, don't miss the webinars. We're going to start in 6 hours. Hey, don't miss the webinar. We're going to start in 3 hours. And finally, the webinar is going to start in a couple of minutes. So take notice how this campaign is radically different than all the other webinars that you're used to, and how my show operate really goes through the roof. It's a no-brainer because the invite sequence does its job. The indoctrination sequence builds trust and says to people, hey, you really need to see this. This is real cool stuff. They already know me up front. I'm pre-selling it also. And then on the day of the webinar, I'm sending 4 emails reminding them that the webinar starts. So these days webinars are all hot. So you've been in a couple of webinars. I think a lot of webinars I don't think you've seen a system like this. And most important is when we're selling through webinars, we have to make sure that our show operate is like as high as possible. Otherwise, we're just losing sales. And a webinar structure, that's also one of my other products that sells how to create the perfect webinar. If a webinar structure is built like it should be built, then yeah, sales basically come on autopilot. You just have to follow the plot or just follow the script, and you can really sell in a webinar. Okay, so now we're on the day of the webinar. So we do our webinar, and like I said, in this case, it's an automated webinar, so I don't have to attend the webinar because I recorded it once, but people think it's a real webinar. So what happens at the end of a webinar, and this is where I change stuff dramatically different than most other webinar campaigns that you've seen. So when a webinar is finished, we have 3 types of categories where we can put people in. What happens? So the first type of category is the people that don't show up, so no shows. The second category is the people that leave early, so they don't watch till the end of the webinar. And the third category where we can put people in is people that saw the webinar, so they saw the pitch, the end pitch, our end sales video or the pitch that we do at the end, but they didn't buy. Well, this tells us something. This tells us like they really attended the webinars, they really engaged in our whole individual marketing universe. They clicked links, they watched videos, they attended the whole webinar, but they didn't buy the stuff that we're promoting. In this case, this webinar that I'm doing is selling my group coaching, my online group coaching. So what happens then? Most other campaigns or most other webinar campaigns that you've seen will just go out the next day and send out a replay of the webinar. But remember, these guys already saw the webinar. They saw the whole pitch. So why would the replay of a webinar get them to make a buying decision like in the first time that they didn't do it? Because it's the same stuff that we're doing. Here is where I am doing it radically different. I'm creating something what I'm calling, and you can see it here, OHA. It stands for an objection handling campaign. So all the people that saw the whole webinar and saw the pitch, what I'm doing then, my system tags them, and my system says, okay, they saw the pitch, but they didn't buy it. And then I'm transferring them to an objection handling campaign. Objection handling campaign, I talked about it a little bit earlier, is like nothing more than they have some kind of objection to not buying my stuff. So in this case, in this campaign, my webinar where I sell my group coaching, there are like 2 things that most people struggle with. The first is they say like, okay, how I'm going to get traffic, for example. I have a lot of people or my marketplace that start out say, how I'm going to buy traffic, where do I going to get traffic from. So what I do is in my objection handling video number 1, I acknowledge the problem that I know the marketplace has with traffic. I show empathy to them, and then I'll go do a goodwill campaign, really teach them on how to overcome that objection. So I'll show them like how I buy solo ads to monetize on my traffic, or how I use pay-per-click. I really go in teaching something. And these videos are like 20-30 minutes videos. At the end of the video, I have the opportunity to pitch again. So I've built even more trust, even more goodwill. I showed them how to overcome their objection, and then I pitched them to really buy my product. Don't forget, these guys went to the whole individual marketing universe, and they engaged, they clicked, they really watched the webinar. So we know they want to buy, but we just have to get them over the rail just a little bit to make the buying decision. So the objection handling video number 2 does the same thing, but for another objection that the marketplace has. We acknowledge it, we show empathy for it, and then we teach how to overcome that objection. For example, in the group, in a coaching or starting your online business or the product that I'm selling, a lot of people have problems by saying, I don't know any tech stuff, I don't know how to create a squeeze page, I don't know how autoresponder works, I don't know how to program. And in the objection handling video, I'll just go through it and show them how to overcome that they really don't need to have those skills, because there's enough software these days, or online SaaS software that helps them, or maybe even I can do it for them. Things like that. I overcome the objection, and at the end of the teaching, I do the same thing. I pitch the webinar. So what happens? 2 things. One, in these 2 videos, they'll buy my stuff, or they'll still don't buy. There's one thing that I do then, is just that I showed you here. We go here in the previous campaign, in the auto launch campaign. What I'll do is create a countdown sequence. So when they registered for the webinar, I locked in a date. So in the countdown sequence, they'll get a series of 4 emails over 4 days that says, hey, this this cart is going to close, my group coaching is going to close, you really have to be quick. Email number 2 does the same thing. Hey, in 3 days from now, I'm closing the cart, so you can't get into the group coaching anymore. Email number 3 does the same thing. Hey, tomorrow I'm closing it, you really have to be quick. And email number 4 on the day says, hey, you only have like 2 or 3 hours left, and if you don't, you have to make your buying decision now and buy my group coaching, or the cart closes. And what happens? The cart really closes. So the system is automated. There is no false scarcity. They cannot, until I want to launch a new campaign, they cannot buy my group coaching anymore. The only thing that I'm going to do now is to put them in another campaign if I have another product trying to sell another stuff. Even if they change their mind for now, I won't, the cart won't open. In a later date, I can open the cart, put in a new campaign when I choose when to launch it, and then they'll go through it again. So this system is like basically 90% automated. And like you're seeing now, it's radical different from most other systems that are just hammering to sell something. You're really teaching, building goodwill. And what I'm seeing in my marketplace is that people like, if you build trust and really teach up front, they'll make a buying decision much faster, and you'll also notice they're ready to pay you even more. I have to say, for me, I go to extremes to help my customers. So I think better or even better buying even better conversion rates than a lot of other marketers. But this system is already designed to do that, like on autopilot. So remember the auto launch campaign. So let's go back to my auto launch campaign, because what happened. Oh yeah, by the way, this is where I stop, and this is here they make a buying decision, they buy or they don't buy. And we can do the same thing, create a new campaign, start them, put them into a whole new campaign, and start the game again based on the engagement of the customer. Do you still remember the out launch campaign? Let's go back to our out launch campaign, because here when the out launch, they made the buying decision or they didn't buy. So what do we do now? Okay, so still remember the auto launch that we did and the people that didn't buy. So what do we do? Well, I'm going to transfer the people that didn't buy, transfer them to another campaign, and we'll go scroll to show you what I mean. Transfer them to a whole nother campaign that starts here, and we call that a goodwill campaign. So the goodwill campaign is just basically, remember, we know that they went to the engagement sequence. They watched video 1, they watched video 2, they watched video 3, they watched the video sales letter, they even have been through the countdown sequence, but they still didn't purchase. So sometimes that just means maybe, hey, I missed something. I don't know what I missed, but we're going to give it another try. Another type of campaign that I deploy then is what I call a goodwill campaign. A goodwill campaign is it's nothing more than it's 2 emails structured to send like beneficial content, but it's unrelated to the product. So in this case, what I do with my goodwill campaign consists of 2 emails. They have a special structure, a special outline, and they send the prospect to a blog, an article. And remember, this article is really unrelated. It's just pure content. I'm not selling anything in the article. It's purely related to something that it's really unrelated to the content or to the product, I mean. So at the end of this blog article, I'll do something again. I'll give them the chance to register again for an automated webinar campaign. But this time I'm using the automated webinar campaign to sell the same product that I was selling in this auto launch, right? So I missed something that they didn't want to buy in the auto launch. So I take the same webinar campaign that we created here, but with the whole the same type of webinar campaign, but we're selling another product. So I give them the chance to register. I start the invitation sequence. They register for the webinar. What happens again? I give them a liquidator offer. We'll do the same indoctrination sequences, the reminder sequences, show the webinar. What happens? The people that see the pitch but don't buy, remember that I said the money, that's where the money is. We are going to give them 2 types of objection handling videos, and then the same customer, and then the same pitch them again, and the countdown sequence for the cart closing. So what happens? It's the same type of structure. After this, we have another failure point. People that didn't buy the product. What are we going to do? There's one other type of campaign. So we tried to sell them in 2 campaigns. They still didn't buy. Are we going to give up? Most people will, but I don't, because I have one other type of campaign that we can use. The type of campaign, if they don't buy or they don't register, is what we call a 4-day cash machine campaign. A 4-day cash machine campaign. I started 4-day cash machine campaign with the engagement sequence. The engagement sequence is nothing more than 3 emails designed to click, and when they click, I'm sending them to a specially made video sales letter that teaches and that gives a discount. So the video sales letter, or when they click in the engagement sequence for the 4-day cash machine, what I do is I'm sending them to a video that gives a tutorial and it gives value and then offers a product with a deadline and with a discount. So this is the structure that the 4-day cash machine works. You cannot change this structure, otherwise it won't work. The important part with the 4-day cash machine is they're getting a discount and they're getting a deadline. So it's the last type of campaign that I really want them to see. If they don't act on this, then I can start a whole new campaign. You can make it as big as you want. For this product, I tend to stop the funnel here. So when they see this, they don't pitch. I give them a countdown sequence. Like I said, my countdown sequences are 4 days, consists of 4 emails. And every time I send another email, I give an extra bonus. So with email 1, I say, hey, in 3 days, this baby is closing, so you need to really act now. I'll give you extra bonus. Here's the bonus that I'm throwing in. Email 2 does the same thing. Here are 2 more bonuses that I'm throwing in. With email 3, doing again the same thing, and I'm even including 3 extra bonuses to get them to make the buying decision and buy the product. If they still don't listen, or they still don't want to buy, in my 4th email I'll say, hey, I'm really going to close this down. I want you to buy this stuff now. If you don't buy the stuff, this closes down forever. And like I said, no fake scarcity. We really lock down the cart, we close down the cart, and then the people that buy go on my buyers list, and we can start a whole other campaign, get them the product and move them into a whole other universe. And what happens with the people that didn't buy, you'll see, like, so with one prospect that opted in here, we tried to sell them like 3 or 4 times, using all different campaigns. So if you do the math, you already know most people in marketing don't do this. So we know that this really ups conversions, up sales, and you can afford to spend much more on buying traffic and then really converting them, because we've hit the prospect from every angle that we could. So it really increases our return on investment, or get them to buy something. So what I just showed you is just part of my funnel that I'm using today in real time. And if somebody opt-ins, they go to they go through 1, 2, 3, 4 different opportunities to buy different products from me at any given time, and thanks to the fact that they are in their completely own customizable universe. So there is bad news and there is good news about this system. Let me give you the bad news first. The bad news is that this is extremely difficult to build. It is very complicated and very hard, and for a lack of a better word, it's a total pain in the ass. The good news is that once you build something like this in your business, it's done. Each and every one of these campaigns is viewed as an asset in your business that produce revenue in a predictable, consistent fashion, regardless of what I'm doing now. Like, I'm recording this video, but my whole marketing universe is running on autopilot. So what you're seeing now on the screen is just a portion of how my business looks. Now, let me share with you more good news. So, if you want to deploy the power of this in your own business, but you don't want to go through the nightmare of learning how to create and build all of this, the good news is that myself and my team can build all of these campaigns for you and deploy them in your own business. Here is how it works. So what I've showed you today are 3 campaign structures that I use in my business. However, there are also 2 more campaign structures that we use in my business that I simply cannot show you here because I've run out of space. What we can do for you today is that we can actually give you all of these 5 template structures, not teach you how to do it, but actually transplant them into your business for you. Now, first of all, before I tell you how that works, let me tell you what you're going to get. The first campaign structure that you are going to get is called the auto launch campaign. This allows you to send someone through an automated launch process. The second campaign structure we are going to transplant for you into your business is going to be the automated webinar campaign structure. The good news about all of these is that you can bolt them together to form one giant string of your own marketing universe. The third campaign structure that I'm going to give you is the 4-day cash machine 2.0 that I just walked you through. But I got 2 more campaigns. The fourth campaign structure is something that's called the survey siphon. The survey siphon is an amazing campaign structure that not only generates goodwill and engagement, but gives you 4 opportunities to sell 4 different products or affiliate offers. The final campaign structure is a brand new one that I just started using, and it's called the email only campaign, which is absolutely incredible. What happens is that I actually transplant all of these campaigns into your business for you. You get all the email copy swipe files. So you don't have to worry about what you're going to put in your email sequence. You get my email sequences, so you can just modify it to your needs. I give you the emails that we use for the early bird sequence. I give you the emails that we use for the countdown sequence. I'm giving you the sequence that we use for the invite sequence. I'll give you the emails that we use for the 4-day cash machine 2.0 sequence. It's all pre-built for you. So we've taken all the technological stuff away from you, so you don't have to deal with it at all. So I brought you 99% to the finish line. All you really have to do is change the copy. But we don't stop there. I'm going to give you over 30 different website templates that you get. You're getting the opt-in page templates. You get the liquidator offer templates. I'm going to give you the video number 1, video number 2 and video number 3 templates. You're going to get the video sales letter templates, as well as the automated webinar registration templates. I'm throwing in the 4-day cash machine templates also. You got everything pre-installed on your domain for you. And then I will work with you one-on-one personally for 6 weeks to make sure everything works as it should. We're literally doing as much as the work for you as humanly possible. All you have to do really is to edit the copy on the templates that we already pre-installed for you. So it really doesn't get much easier than that. And the good news is that you can have all of this, all of these 5 campaigns for 3 payments of $9.97, or you can make one significant, or you can get one significant discount by making 1 payment. But you know what? I don't want to try to convince you about how great this is. Instead, I like to help you. So here's what I'm going to do. I've set aside some time to get on the phone with you or on Skype and take a look at what you're actually doing, and then architect a completely customized blueprint for your business and how it should look, based on everything you tell me and what you want to accomplish. The fact of the matter is that there is no one-size-fits-all funnel, and every funnel needs to be uniquely tailored to your business, and that's exactly what I want to do for you. So I'll get on Skype with you to see exactly what you're selling or what you want to sell, or for example what your price points are, or even if you're new in marketing. And then I will prescribe the system that will make the most sense based on what you want to accomplish. If at the end of the consultation and conversation you're impressed and you say, "Hey Alex, this really makes sense. I can see that this is going to work for me and this is really going to be beneficial for me," then great. We can work together and start building it for you. Like I said, we will install all five campaigns for you, and I even work with you personally for 6 weeks. At the end of the call, if you like, we can work together. Or at the end, if you say, "Hey Alex, I don't know, I want to build this on my own," no problem, no pressure. So here's how to get started right now. On this page somewhere, you're going to see a button. You click on that button and then you're going to be taken to another page where I will ask you a couple of non-intrusive questions. Just some general ideas about what you've been doing and what you want to accomplish. So we can be the best prepared to help you before we talk. After you fill that out, I'll take a look at it. If I think we're a good match, I'll give you a call to set up a time to talk, and I'll architect this whole baby for you. If at the end you're thinking, I want to go ahead and work with me, then that's great, we can get started. If you don't want to work together, that's fine. Like I said, no problem, no pressure, and I'll even make it irresistible for you. If for any reason you think that I've actually wasted your time during this experience, let me know and I will shoot you $100 straight to your PayPal. Thus, the very worst case scenario is that you actually make $100 for having me blueprint a customized solution for you. So you really can't lose with this. As you know, a lot of people are watching this workshop, and I can only work with a handful of people every month because this is so hands-on. And as you're seeing, this has a very high value, and thus the response is very high. So if this sounds good for you and you might be interested, go ahead and apply now for your free consultation. Either way, I really enjoyed making this for you, and I hope you enjoyed this also. So thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to working together soon.